Supporting learning, it means understanding your students' needs and implementing the necessary tools and the environment that's necessary to really ensure that they gain a proper understanding of the content that you're dispersing to them. When you're improving in planning practice, you're trying to focus on giving feedback and getting the proper feedback and necessary assessments to discover an appropriate learning path for the students. And this can involve the teacher's obligation to assess the needs of the classroom and the individuals, as well as considering diversity within that classroom. Further understanding what the students' interests and abilities are. You want to also follow standards that are appropriate for their age in that particular discipline. When a teacher is upholding professional expectations, they are reflecting on the actions and, on their particular actions and decisions, making sure that they treat students fairly and equitably, being accountable for having effective communication. It really leads to a positive atmosphere. And as far as collaboration goes, feedback and assessments from supervisors, peers are very, very helpful in making decisions that directly impact, that classroom, or that subject area. Being a part of like a planning committee within the school, within your community, on a state or national level, some type of board or whatnot, it shows that you are not only committed and passionate about your subject matter in the schools that you're at, but also it makes your work it makes your work more effective, and it gives you more validity. You have more to offer to planning and development of that school or of that particular course matter. Seeking professional development opportunities also is a key factor in the advancement in that particular profession, and in this case, teaching. Speaking on my current experience and my current character, some of the dispositions which I feel I currently possess are a respect for diversity, fairness, professional conduct. I'm very big on appearance. I'm very big on how I articulate subject matter, and also like my attitude in the classroom. Setting a standard, setting a bar, communicating effectively to my students, to parents, to other staff members. Honesty. I'm going to be honest at all costs. I'm going to be honest about my needs. I'm going to be honest about students' needs. I just like that level of transparency. Compassion for the subject areas I teach. I'm very, very much so into the humanities, history, law, geography, things of that nature, as well as college transition, which is my background. So those are areas, as well as dedication, putting in a lot of time, into, putting a lot of time into, lesson planning, putting a lot of time into, giving the student what they need, going that extra mile in that area. And being dedicated to following the proper standards that have been set for me. An area of improvement would be like student advocacy. Although I'm really big at relationship building, I can work on I give them advice, but also connecting the students to resources within the school, within the community that can help them overcome certain obstacles or hurdles that they're dealing with. Another would be reflecting. Like I said, I spend a lot of time on lesson planning, but I don't spend, lesson planning in the way I execute, but I don't spend as much time on reflecting on, gauging like the students' comprehension of the matter. That's something that I can work on. That's definitely something that I can work on, as well as reflecting on, how, excuse me, different experiences outside of the classroom affect their in-classroom relationships and learning. Outside of year-end surveys, in occasional after, post lesson quizzes, I think I can do more with reflecting on how that lesson went and using that information to further develop future lessons and educational plans for the students. So, teaching standards are kind of set up to ensure that students are learning at a certain level, and that instructors or educators are implementing the proper measures to encourage this type of learning. If we refuse to follow certain standards and instead operate from like our own biases, students might not be able to fully learn on an equal level. Also, like behavioral standards are set to make sure teachers are, viewed as like respected and professional. Operating at a lower standard or outside of that area could like lead to inconsistencies and cause discipline problems with students. Standards are kind of set so that students are given equal opportunity, and that, they're able to learn, at the same capacity as their peers, and that learning is measured evenly. In collaborative settings, like biases may be taken into account. You may have your own opinion on how something should operate. However, decisions are made, in a collaborative manner, but, they do ensure that everyone has their input, but they also have a certain vision that they're trying to reach. So, goals are set to achieve that vision. And, those goals are set with everyone's efforts in mind. So, you definitely shouldn't, have, you're going to have your own opinions on how you feel, your different educational theories and implementations of things, but you definitely have to follow, standards that are, on the state and national level, so that it's fair to that student. It's fair to that student. So you don't want to impact that student for the negative.